Let me tell you a story about a young man named Ahmad, 25 years old, born into a Muslim family. He grew up praying 5 times a day from a young age. But the truth is, he never felt the prayer. It was just a habit. Wake up, pray, rush out. Midday prayer between classes. Maghrib in a hurry. Isha right before bed. It was routine, but not connection. One night after Isha, he sat on his prayer mat looking down, and he asked himself, why do I keep doing this if I don't feel anything? He wasn't doubting Islam, he just felt spiritually disconnected. He said, I bow, I prostrate, I say the words, but my heart is somewhere else. I don't even remember the surah I recited. That night, scrolling on his phone, he came across a short video of a scholar, and the word he heard stopped him cold. He said, when you pray, you stand right in front of Allah, the Lord of the worlds. If you were standing in front of a king, would you forget? Would your eyes wander? Would your heart drift? No. Then how do we allow our heart to drift when we stand in front of the King of Kings? Subhanallah. That's it, Ahmad, like a wave. He thought, I have been praying my whole life, but I have never stood before Allah. The next morning, something changed. Ahmad made wudu slowly, deliberately for the first time. He whispered to himself, I am about to stand in front of Allah. He stood, raised his hand, Allahu Akbar. But this first time, he meant it. He recited Al-Fatiha and actually talked about the meanings. You alone will worship, you alone will seek for help. In Ruku, he didn't rush. In Sujud, he didn't just touch the ground. He poured his heart out to Allah. And that moment, Ahmad began to cry. Not out of sadness, but out of something new, present. He felt seen by Allah. He felt heard. For the first time in his life, he was truly praying. Over the next week, something began to shift. Salah wasn't just a chore, it was actually a refuge to him. Straight from work, he ran to prayer. Confusion in life, he found clarity on the prayer mat. His bad habits began to fade. Not because someone scolded him, but because he started feeling ashamed to stand in front of Allah with a filthy heart. He started praying earlier. He started making longer sujood. He even began waiting for the next salah because he missed that feeling of peace. Maybe you affect like Ahmad. Maybe your prayers feels dry, routine, lifeless. But let me tell you something. It doesn't have to stay that way. Khushu, that deep focus and humility isn't just for scholar or saint. It's for you right now. When Ahmad finds khushu, his entire life starts to change. Because when your heart bows in prayer, it stops bowing to anything else. Not stress, not people, not sin. As from today, let your heart connect with Almighty Allah, so that you are going to have that feelings of you praying. May Almighty Allah accept it as an act of ibadah. May Almighty Allah fill our hearts with khushu in every salah, and may we never rush anything that is meant to connect us with our Creator. Allahumma salli ala Sayyidina Muhammadin wa sallim. Assalamu alaikum.